Welcome to this deep dive. Before we jump in, this deep dive is brought to you by SalesWings. We highly encourage you to check out their new SalesWings AI assistant. It's a Salesforce native, lightweight yet really powerful AI assistant helping sales reps make the right decisions.
And it is a great tool because it has access to a combination of first-party intent data, your Salesforce data, web search, and more.
Right. And crucially, it doesn't require Agentforce, so it stays incredibly lightweight. But anyway, today we are exploring the top 8 Salesforce Quip alternatives for 2026.
Our mission here is to look at how modern sales teams are moving past standard living documents to build actual execution infrastructure.
You might be wondering why a document tool migration even warrants a strategic deep dive like this.
Well, Salesforce recently reported that sales representatives spend an incredible 60% of their time on non-selling tasks.
60%. That is just
Massive, right? Out of a 40-hour week, reps are spending 24 hours chasing internal approvals, hunting for enablement documents, updating systems. We are looking at how to reclaim that time for you.
Let's think about the life cycle of a deal. It almost always starts with finding the right information. We have all been there, frantically searching shared drives 5 minutes before a pitch.
Oh, absolutely. Notion has emerged as a really compelling alternative here because it acts as this flexible workspace layer. It replaces those chaotic drives with highly searchable databases.
But the key insight with Notion is that its flexibility requires strict governance.
Exactly. Someone, likely a revenue operations leader, has to explicitly define the information architecture.
Because if you don't clearly separate competitive intel from onboarding materials, the platform quickly becomes a mess.
It is an engine that requires a dedicated mechanic.
So it isn't a simple plug-and-play fix. What if a team needs something more structured right out of the box, maybe for building a repeatable deal room?
That is where Coda steps in. Instead of giving you a blank page, Coda lets you build playbooks that function like lightweight applications.
Using embedded tables, right?
Yes, it connects your mutual action plan, stakeholder map, and internal tasks. It essentially formalizes processes that usually just live in salespeople's heads.
Which forces standardization across complex buying committees.
Right. Having a highly organized deal room is great, but it doesn't automatically push the deal forward. Deals usually stall at handoffs.
Legal reviews, pricing approvals, security checks.
Exactly. How do we get from just writing things down to actually executing those steps? You need an engine, not just a blueprint.
That brings us to ClickUp. Sales execution isn't typically blocked by writing. It is blocked by a lack of accountability.
ClickUp changes the dynamic by tying your documents directly to tasks, specific owners, and deadlines.
It operationalizes the workflow right inside the deal plan so nothing falls through the cracks.
That addresses the internal bottlenecks beautifully. But taking meeting notes also consumes a massive chunk of that 60% of non-selling time we talked about earlier.
This is where we see a paradigm shift with AI tools like Fathom.
Fathom automatically transcribes the call, generates summaries, and captures action items.
And the crucial part is that it pushes those outcomes straight into your CRM.
You entirely remove the need for documents as meeting notes, saving immense amounts of manual administrative work and protecting your core selling hours.
We have Notion for knowledge, Coda for deal rooms, ClickUp for execution, and Fathom for meetings. But sometimes introducing a completely new platform just creates friction.
What if an organization is already deeply entrenched in an existing ecosystem?
Often the best tool is the one you don't have to teach your team to use. If your company already lives in Google Workspace, leveraging their built-in tools offers frictionless, universal collaboration.
For organizations heavily integrated into Atlassian or Jira, Confluence provides a governed, enterprise-ready knowledge base. It is particularly effective for complex sales environments, requiring tight technical alignment with engineering teams.
Microsoft Loop does something similar for the Microsoft 365 crowd, allowing lightweight co-creation natively within teams.
And we shouldn't forget individual reps who need to track their own pipelines. Evernote remains highly relevant for personal knowledge capture.
Ensuring reps don't lose their individual customer context across different devices.
When you look at all these alternatives, the core lesson isn't about comparing basic document features. It is about diagnosing exactly where your specific sales process breaks down.
Is your bottleneck knowledge discovery, deal execution, or meeting follow-through?
You have to select the infrastructure that addresses your exact failure point.
Before we wrap up, here's a thought from the research that really stuck with me. The source material warns that when transitioning to a new tool, you should only migrate what is current and valuable.
It notes that tools don't create consistency, templates do.
If a successful migration requires standardizing your templates first, what messy legacy sales processes are you currently clinging to that should simply be abandoned rather than moved to a new system? Think about that.